The first thing he notices is that he's no longer alone, even though the path behind him is empty. A 16-year-old boy is walking the old train tracks in Conception Bay South in Newfoundland. Late fall air cutting through his jacket, the kind of cold that settles into your bones and will stay there. He's done this route before, more times than he can count, actually. It's familiar to him in the way quiet places sometimes are. The crunch of the gravel, the trees leaning in close, the slow rhythm of his own steps. People talk, of course they do. There are stories about these tracks, there always are. But nothing ever happens, not to him anyway. So he keeps walking like he always does, letting the silence do most of the talking. Until it doesn't stay silent. It starts small at first, a shift behind him. Not loud enough to give a name, just enough to make him slow his pace without really meaning to do so. Leaves move somewhere in the trees, birds lift off and settle again. He turns his head, there's nothing there. So he keeps going, and then the sound comes back. Footsteps. Clear this time, definitely not his. Not close enough to really be obvious, but steady enough that his body reacts before his mind does. He stops again and looks over his shoulder, a little longer this time, trying to catch whatever joke his nerves are playing upon him. The tracks stretch back, empty, but the footsteps, they don't stop. They are still there. 4 or 5 meters behind him, maybe less now. Getting closer in a way he can feel more than hear, like the air itself is being stepped upon. So he looks down. At first there's nothing, just gravel, crushed stone, the usual mess of the railway path. Then it happens again. A footprint forms in the dirt, not appearing all at once, not like something dropping into place, more like pressure being applied to nothing. An imprint where no body is visible. Another step, then another. He doesn't wait for the next one. He runs. The sound behind him keeps pace for a few seconds, then fades into the rhythm of his own panic. But he doesn't stop to test it, not even once. The tracks blur under him, trees flashing past in uneven shapes, and all he can think of is that something was walking just behind him, and it didn't need to be seen. He didn't want to see it. Long later, after he's safe again, the story he hears isn't news. It's older than him, older than the tracks themselves, at least in the way people tell the stories about it. Miss Molloy, a bride-to-be once. That's how it begins in every version. A wedding that never made it past the church steps. The groom left before it was done. Fear, doubts, or something no one ever could quite agree upon. She's left standing there alone, and then she's gone as well. Not back to the family, not forward into anything that seemingly makes any sense. Just away. Toward the train tracks, near Easons Road. Some say she was trying to clear her head. Others say she never really came back from that moment in the church. Either way, either story, she ends up there. The whistle comes before the train does. That much is always the same, a warning stretched thin across air. She steps off the tracks, trying to move away from it, but her dress catches, snagged hard on something low and sharp in the rails. A spike maybe, a bolt. Something small enough to be overlooked and not seen until, well, it isn't. The train rounds the bend and she cannot move. She pulls harder than she should be able to. The fabric won't give. It just holds there while everything else closes in. The sound grows, fills the space around her until there's nothing else left. And then it's gone. What remains is that idea of her. Not really gone, not really still there either. Just continuing. People say she walks those tracks at night now, up and down, searching, always searching, like she missed something important and cannot remember for the life of her what it was, or who it was. Most people don't think much of it until they see her. Natasha wasn't looking for anything one night, just walking home after being out with friends, head full of noise that had nothing to do with the tracks she was on. She probably wasn't even paying attention at first. Most people really are not. Then she sees it, ahead of her, suspended in the air just above the rails. There's a patch of gray fog, too still, too shaped. The wind moves around it like it does not belong there. She slows down without even meaning to. It doesn't move away. As she gets closer, the fog, it stops being fog. It starts to take form. A woman. Faint at first, like the idea of one more than anything that might be solid. A long white dress hanging in such a way that doesn't quite match gravity. Her head is lowered, shoulders slightly slumped, like grief has weighed her down. Natasha does not run, at least not yet. She just keeps walking, closer. The shape sharpens as she approaches, details filling in where there shouldn't be any kind of detail at all. And then it turns. Just slightly. Just enough. The face is there for but a moment. It's not fully visible, but enough to register that it's aware of her. And then the figure drifts off of the tracks, moving onto a narrow path that cuts toward the road like it already knew where it was going. So, Natasha, she follows. She really shouldn't, but she does so anyway. The path is short. It has to be. She only looks away for a second, just enough to adjust her footing. When she looks back up, nothing. There is no fog. There is no figure. No white dress fading into the dark. Just empty air where something had been leading her a moment before. And the tracks behind her, those are quiet again, like they were never interrupted at all. In Conception Bay South in Newfoundland, Canada, people don't really talk about the right side or the wrong side of the tracks. Not here anyway. Not anymore. It's a little simpler than that. There's the side that's still living, and the side that remembers living when you're gone. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this quick tale from CBS, Conception Bay South, Newfoundland, Canada. It's a spooky one to be sure. Until next time, I'll see you through the foggy veils.